Okay, the semifinals of the Manchester Major just wrapped up around 30 minutes ago, and they neither of them went as I predicted, which I'm not surprised. I did say yesterday that both matches were kind of a toss up and could have gone either way, but I thought that um, after seeing Liquid beat Furia, who were of course, are two-time major champions and current world champions. That Liquid would this would be Liquid's best shot in a long time to win the whole thing. But Beast Coast kept up their performance from yesterday, which was one thing I was concerned about. Is if Gunnar didn't pop off like how he did against FaZe, would Beast Coast be able to show up? And the answer to that question was yes. The rest of Beast Coast did show up today, um, even with Gunnar not having a crazy performance like he did yesterday. He still played well today, specifically in the first map, but he didn't go 28 and 8 in two maps like he did yesterday. But Beast Coast were still continuing to prove that they are better than Brazil this tournament by beating both FaZe and Liquid 2-0. And pri- not totally dominantly, pretty dominantly on Skyscraper. Bank was close, but Beast Coast just have that clutch factor. Both of the attacks that Beast Coast won on Sky were both clutches. I think one was a gunner 1v3, but technical 1v2 because one was, I believe it was a warden, was already downed. So gunner won a 1v2, and then diffuser also won a 1v2. I believe it was on the same site too, on the exhibition office site upstairs. So Beast Coast are very clutch on that side apparently. And a similar situation on Bank where Liquid were again they're good on defense and they got a bunch of defensive rounds on Bank, and Beast Coast went into the second half with a 2-4 split after only winning two attack rounds. But Liquid's attack can continue to be quite bad, and anytime it felt like Liquid had an advantage in an attack, that Beast Coast would just clutch up anyways. Plus, a lot of Liquid's attacks were very poor today. Like a lot of they just keep rushing, and it's just stupid. I don't like how they do that. They even called after their first two attacks did not work out, which were both like fast rush style pushes, to try and surprise Beast Coast. They called a timeout, and then they tried to rush again for some reason, which was very strange. So so yeah, and then in similar fashion to the first game, how it was closed out in a 1v2, the this bank game was also closed out in a Gavini 1v2 where it was pretty funny. Lagonas couldn't make a rotate with the bailiff, and he couldn't hop through into sight till last second. And Bedia and Gavini being on Solus, of course, just gets an easy win because he's on Solus. And Palu, I think, who was the other one alive for Liquid, was was just lost. He had no idea where Gavini went. Yeah, Beast Coast just more clutch than Liquid, and it felt like the same, not completely the same for this BDS-DZ game, but definitely similar. I felt like all the clutches were going BDS's way in this game for the most part, especially on Oregon. Solotov had a crazy uh, 2v4 ace with on Grim, where you got like the last two kills by sprinting in with the bailiff. Um, and also Shaiko got a 1v2 as well. And there were also some crazy clutches from Nafe on Oregon as well, but they just couldn't happen. There was one moment where he would have won that one clutch on the Oregon basement attack, but BDS were able to long arm the diffuser from behind a wall, and Nafe did not know that, of course. So he wasn't able to close that round out. And yeah, similar to the Beast Coast Liquid game, BDS and definitely outclutched Dark Zero. But another thing that happened this game, which is really strange from a team like Dark Zero, I don't know why, but they decided to pick Border and let Oregon go through their map bans, where Border is a map that I think if you anyone who watches like DZ play enough, I feel like they would know that DZ are like not that great on Border, and they think they're good on Border, but they're not. And then Oregon is DZ's like perma ban basically. They don't like play that map at all. And for some reason they let both. They decide to pick Border themselves, and they let Oregon through. So I feel like another reason that DZ did not win this was the map, the trolling their map bans here, because they had the opportunity to go to maps like Bank and Cafe, which they're much better on, as they showed against M80 um, uh, yesterday on Cafe. They didn't play Bank game, but DZ have a pretty good Bank. Um, Definitely better Bank than Border or Oregon. So yeah, I feel like this could have been definitely a 3 map series at least if DZ picked better maps for themselves. Uh, which uh, I don't know. For a team like DZ, you just can't be doing that. You can't be making risky map picks in the semifinals of a major, especially maps that you know are going to benefit BDS, especially Border. Uh, when you have a talent heavy team like BDS who are just gonna outgun everyone, then you don't want to go to a map like Border or Oregon, where the maps are very simple and smaller than some of the other ones in the pool. So that's how we ended up with a BDS Beast Coast final. Now, I'm sure Beast Coast are the biggest surprise of the tournament still, even though they've been playing very well, of course. They're still the biggest surprise for me. I'm not surprised that they're good. I thought I did have them making the quarterfinals. I just didn't think they'd be this good. Like I think everyone thought there's no way um, Beast Coast could ever beat FaZe when that quarterfinal bracket came out, but they dismantled FaZe. Uh, they dismantled Liquid. Liquid gave them a harder time than FaZe, which was very surprising because I think everybody considered FaZe probably the best Brazilian team at the tournament, or just the best team at the tournament in general. So yeah, and then for BDS, they of course they own EU, and they out talented DZ and also out map banned DZ for sure here. They got the maps they wanted. But I feel like heading into tomorrow, I feel like if Beast Coast like ban the right maps, um, that they should, they honestly, I think Beast Coast can win the whole thing. They've looked better than BDS, even though BDS have made it to the final with 2-2-0 wins, just like Beast Coast have. When I watch BDS play, it's like it's some of the things that they make more mistakes than Beast Coast do, and they get in their heads a little more than Beast Coast do. It feels like, and both teams definitely have a deep map pool, but I definitely think like Beast Coast. What's nice for Beast Coast is they can let a map like Oregon through against BDS. I think Beast Coast are a much better Oregon team than DZR, and that allows Beast Coast space to ban like BDS's like most preferred maps, which are probably going to be like Clubhouse and possibly Cafe and potentially even Border again. But I do think like as long as Beast Coast don't troll their map ban phase for this final, really, I feel like they're putting themselves in a really good position to win the whole thing. Um, of course, again, BDS by no means that they're a bad team, and they also have a very good chance in this final with how much talent they have on the team and also having a good map pool. So I think this will be a close final, and it'll be a fun one because this is like a throwback. We haven't seen an NA versus EU. When was the last time we seen an NA versus EU grand final? It's been a while. So was it? Oh yeah, it's been a. That'd be the TSM Team Empire SI final in 2022. I think that was the last time we had a NA EU final. So I think we got a good match ahead of us tomorrow. So, but yeah, again, like, and my predictions probably like everyone else's are chalk now, unless I could see people picking BDS to be here. Actually, BDS are probably like the only like going into the tournament. BDS, FaZe, and Furia were probably like the top three favorites, and BDS are the only favorite left. While Beast Coast have risen to the occasion and proven that they are one of the best teams here and not to be messed with. And what's been huge for Beast Coast too is players like Diffuser, who who had a pretty bad Swiss stage, um, has really stepped up in the playoffs so far. And same with Hot and Cold, where even because he was hard crushing the Monty in the NAL stage, but even with the Monty banned against him, he's been getting kills, which was huge because that was the one big thing question mark I had for Hot and Cold when he was on SSG is, well, can Hot and Cold get kills? And oftentimes on SSG it was like no, but so far on Beast Coast he's been putting in work. So yeah, tomorrow's matchup will definitely be crazy because I mean the similarities statistically here, everybody's this is really tight. So I feel like this is going to be some good competition here. And let's look at the ratings for the matches today too, because I mean this also shows like, oh, why did another reason why Liquid lost this? I mean, like, when Lagonis is your highest rated player, and uh, that's a problem for Liquid here. And I don't know what they're gonna do about resets because it definitely feels like he's he's very on and off. And when he's popping off, it's like, yeah, Liquid are gonna win everything because that's what happened yesterday. He resets was popping off against Furia, and they were able to beat Furia, but he did not play well today, and it looked rough. And resets is definitely like the biggest question I have for this Liquid team because it feels like that role he plays in is the most replaceable role on the team, like very easily, because he plays a more frag heavy role, and I feel like there are just better players at that than there are than resets that I feel like Liquid could go and pick up. And again, like, now for Beast Coast, Diffuser was their highest rated player today, which was something that wasn't happening in Swiss stage. This is huge for Beast Coast to have Diffuser wake up at the most important time of the tournament. So, and then similar to where's results? And then for the DZ BDS game today, like, can't have a player like Bolo going -6 on KD, and then Pamba didn't play amazing today either, especially border. He's very bad on border. A better game on Oregon from Pamba, but his border was so poor that he couldn't do anything. Yeah, NJR was amazing on border as well, but it just wasn't enough because the rest of DZ on border weren't playing that well. And Nave played pretty good today, but I mean, everybody on BDS except Lickyfac was playing very well today. And Lickyfac wasn't even playing too terrible, but certainly worse than the rest of his team. So, yeah. And so I think the the match for tomorrow should be like really fun, I think. So with both these teams like being really hot right now, and the first final in a long time that there is just no Brazilian team at all in it, which is weird to think about because Brazil has been so dominant in Siege for such a long time now. So yeah, um, again, if you enjoy the video or watch the end, uh, feel free to follow the socials or subscribe or just like. And probably the most important thing is, again, if you have any, if there's things you like or things you didn't like or things that you think could use work, let me know in the comments, or you can DM me on like Twitter if there's, you want to see me do anything uh, differently with these videos, because I am learning as I go here. This is a process that I want to keep getting better at. So yeah, again, thank you for watching and have a good rest of your day.